Today I'd like to discuss the topic, is one obligated to support his parents financially? We have the mitzvah of Kibud Av V'Em. In Kibud Av V'Em, there are actually two branches of this mitzvah. One mitzvah is to do positive things. The Gemara says an example is to give out parents to eat or to drink, to escort them where they need to go, to help them get to this place or to that place. These are positive actions that we have to do. This is the mitzvah of kavod. Then there is a set of mitzvot of things that we are required to refrain from, being disrespectful from our parents. For example, not to call our parents by their first names. This is things called the mitzvah of or, treating parents with or, and these are the things that we're required to refrain from. So we have actually two aspects to this mitzvah. Positive things that we have to do, and negative things that we are not allowed to do. Now, in the positive mitzvah of Kibud Av V'Em, the example that's given in the Talmud, in the Shulchan Aruch, in the Rambam, is to feed the parent and to give the parent to drink. The question is the child obligated to spend his own money on this particular mitzvah? Or do we say that no, all the Torah requires is that you make the physical effort, you put in the effort, but you don't actually have to do it from your own funds. You could actually take this from the resources and the money of one's parents. In other words, the obligation is only the physical effort and the time, but not actually putting out money. So the Rambam rules, and this is what's brought down in Shulchan Aruch, the mitzvah of Kibud Av V'Em is to feed parents and to provide for them and give them the needs, but it's from things that the parents already own. You're not obligated to put out your own money for it, just the effort and the time. The next stage that's discussed in Shulchan Aruch is, well, what happens if the parent does not have the money for it? In other words, you're obligated to serve your parents meals and provide them with, take them to places, and you're required to do it, according, strictly speaking, only from their money. What happens if the parent is poor and they cannot afford it? Does the child now have to put out his own money for it? So the ruling of Shulchan Aruch is that a child whose parents are not able to afford it, he actually does the mitzvah of Kibud V'Em, but he does it from his tzedakah money, because his parents are obviously poor. The son has a certain amount of funds that he has to anyway give for tzedakah, for charity, and in the laws of charity there is priorities. And there's an expression in English, charity begins at home. And the halacha recognizes this, that when you come in to give charity, your first obligation, for example, is to your family members. And in your family, your parents come first. So therefore, if a person has parents who are poor and they are not able to afford their necessities, the child is required now to take care of his parents, and he's using his tzedakah money in order to do so. And they actually come first. Now, notwithstanding this, it says in Shulchan Aruch that, and it's actually mentioned in the Gemara already, that woe is to the person, there's a curse on a person who supports his parents from tzedakah money. Meaning to say, even though the Torah does not obligate you to put out your money, and we only say that a person has required to put out his money if he wants to do it from his tzedakah money. However, it is not respectful for a person who has the ability to do so to treat his parents just like tzedakah cases and like other poor people. He should give them the respect of taking care of them from his own money. If he doesn't have any extra money to do so, then he does it from his tzedakah. So we have right now what's mentioned in Shulchan Aruch. If the parents don't have the money for it, the child should spend the money of his own to take care of his parents. If the child does not have any extra money to do so, then he can take it, and he should take it, and he must take it from his tzedakah money. What happens if there are a number of children in the family, some are wealthy and some are poor? Do we say that they all have to share the burden of taking care of their poor parents equally? So in Shulchan Aruch it says that if there are those who are wealthy and those who are not, or some who have more and some who have less, the obligation now falls on the children who have plenty. If a parent has the ability to provide for himself and to make the income for himself but doesn't want to, the Chatam Sofer says, then the child is not obligated to financially support his parent.